How y'all doing? Good. Thank y'all for coming. I think we're going to have members trickle in, and there's lots of things going on, and I think including some hearings. So we'll see as members come. We'll invite them to share their experiences. Obviously, Sheriff, come on over here. We had announced that we, as a Texas delegation, representing the folks at Ground Zero and the communities on the front line in this unprecedented and ever escalating border crisis, that we would take a trip to the border. Most of us have been several times, but I would submit to you that this experience was unique, and we wanted to share what we saw, what we heard, and what we experienced in our trip at the border. And I want to thank my colleagues from Texas for doing what leaders do. And I think this is sad to have to remind this administration and our current president that leadership is listening, it's engaging, and it's acting in the interest of the people that you represent. We've had no border trip, we've had no press conference, we've had no responsibility, no leadership from our commander-in-chief. But I want to thank Brian Babin especially for his leadership in organizing the event, and he will speak to you shortly. But what I think is most disconcerting for the American people, they see the record numbers of people being trafficked, the record volume of contraband and drugs being pushed across our border. I think the most disconcerting thing to the American people is not just the abuses and the humanitarian crisis or the safety and security crisis. It's that we have a constitutional crisis, because we have a commander-in-chief whose first responsibility is to provide for the common defense of our citizens. We have a president who took an oath to faithfully execute the laws of the land, and none of the above is happening, and the chaos is burning out of control. Let me tell you, it's one thing to sit in the safety and comfort behind the walls of the White House complex or from a golf cart in Wilmington, Delaware. It is a whole nother thing to be on the ground with the people who are suffering the most as a result of the policies of this administration and the total abdication and dereliction of duty, the sacred duty to always protect the American people. So to see into the faces of these poor and vulnerable folks who are desperate, and to see the despair from the abuse and the exploitation of the people who are in control of our southern border, and that's the drug cartels, indisputable. And they are running roughshod over these poor, vulnerable people. That's part of the humanitarian crisis. Or to look into the faces of our Border Patrol agents who are completely demoralized. Or to listen to Richard the rancher, Richard Guerra, and other private property or landowners there along the border who say they've seen unprecedented numbers of firearms, fences being cut, property being destroyed, dead bodies. Jim McAllen, the namesake of McAllen, Texas, which was our first stop, said that he doesn't feel safe, and this is something we heard repeatedly, even leaving his family at their home on their ranch. What a shameful situation that we've been left with. But you have to listen to these folks, the voice of the despair from folks along the border who feel like their federal government has failed them. A.J. Louderback, one of the many sheriffs and local law enforcement who feel that they are stretched thin as it is to protect their communities, let alone be adjunct Border Patrol agents, to see the gaping holes where drugs are being pushed because Border Patrol agents are spending half their time processing families and taking care of children instead of being on mission to secure the border. My colleagues have much more to say about this, but I think for me, the one experience that stands out the most was sitting at a table at the Carrizo Springs a facility for minors. Now, mind you, most of these young men are 17 years of age or older, and most are from Honduras or from the Triangle countries, El Salvador, Guatemala, and I sat across from them with an interpreter, and let me just summarize the question and the answer. Did you know you could come now? Were you aware of the election and the different policies of the different presidents, Donald Trump and Joe Biden? And the answer was clear, and it was unequivocal, and it was consistent with everybody at the table, that they understood with no uncertainty that President Trump did not tolerate illegal immigration, but President Biden welcomed it. Folks, that's the message, and it's been heard loud and clearly throughout Central and South America and the rest of the world. And our citizens and our families of this great nation are suffering as a result of it. My co-leader, but the real driving force behind this trip is Brian Babin from Texas 36, and I would invite him here to share his remarks with you. Thank you.